All right, welcome back to the final segment of Panhandle Outdoors this morning. Our guest here sitting there is a familiar face and part of our Panhandle Outdoors team, Mark Coward is Redfish. Mark, now we've got some baits and all, and I know y'all been successful, so let's talk about some baits.
Michael and I, one of the things that we have really, it has come a long way for us is understanding more about soft baits and the impact soft baits have on redfish and trout, all inshore species, in flounder, whatever, for example, our St. Andrews slam, for example.
Yeah.
The thing is that when you're fishing, you really want to look for a commonality between your bait and the bait you see in the water. And if it's all pinfish, if it's all a baby, finger mullet or even bigger mullet, you still want to kind of match the right color and match the right action they're doing. For the last couple of weeks, one of the things that's been very good for us, and if you follow us on Facebook or Instagram, is this Z-Man diesel minnow. And it is a 4-inch swim bait. And the remarkable thing about this bait, the way it's made, you can rig it with and y'all seen us do this before, but this is a 4/0 1/8 ounce weighted rigging hook. And it's just like a weighted worm hook. You can see that right there. There's nothing special to it except it's got this little hook in it. And you rig it Texas like a Texas rig worm, just like it. This bait, the way it's made with Elastec, the hook just stretches right on through when the weight's coming through. It doesn't hurt it. You just rig it, set it just like that. And when you throw it, how we fish that is we throw it and reel it back really slow. The bait has such a tremendous action, and of course with all Z-Man baits with Elastec, pinfish, the only thing that's going to hurt this is a puffer. A puffer fish, I don't know how they can do it, but they can bite through steel.
They can.
But this bait, this Z-Man diesel minnow, has been a tremendous bait. Another bait that has been very successful for us, and Michael has really kind of gone to a point that he's all but mastered using this bait at the right time. This is a Z-Man minnows, and again, it's got a strong paddle tail with Elastec. Again, you can't tear it, but this is rigged on a Slayer's Inc. weedless jig head. And I'll tell you who has this jig head, Brad Stevens at Sunjammers on 79. They have a great selection of these. That's where you go to get them. You tell Brad that off Coach Chester show that they said to come get these from them. It's a perfect bait. It's got keepers on it. The bait won't slide down, as you can see. Like that Z-Man doesn't even want to come off of it. But a lot of these places we're fishing, if you fish in Apalachicola up near the river mouths, or you go to, let's say, Pensacola and Escambia River or Blackwater, there are bass mixed in like we talked about earlier. When you find those bass, you're going to find redfish, and typically larger redfish. So what Michael does, Michael throws this baby bass color, and these redfish just destroy it. Another thing that's been working extraordinarily well for us, again, is a gold spoon. And like Winston just said, no matter where you're fishing, the only thing you really have to catch a redfish is a gold spoon.
Put a couple of those in your pocket.
Yeah, this is an 1/8 ounce gold spoon. This is a 1/4 ounce gold spoon. Now, one of the things that has really struck me is that we started downsizing our baits. Now, when I say that to you, remember, they would rather eat a small crab or a crab, but they love shrimp. So this glittering through the water with that kind of gold tint, it mimics a crab, it mimics a shrimp. It looks like a lot of things, but if you'll notice, you rarely catch trout on a gold spoon.
That's true.
Trout don't like to eat crab. So they just stay, I don't know why, but they just don't seem to do that. But the one thing we've learned is that you want to downsize unless the water is extraordinarily dirty. But the other thing that has really worked for us is this copper color. Now, the copper color, the reason it works so well, it even looks more like a small crab. And the one thing, if you want a tip of the day, I'm going to tell you, here it is. You want to take this stuff and pair it with 8 to 10 pound Power Pro braid, or your braid, whatever you choose, and with about an 18-inch, 20-pound leader. You don't need a leader any longer than that, and you want to throw this as humanly far as possible. It's got to get as far away from the boat as possible. Anytime you're approaching a school of redfish, you want to stay as far away as you can. The only way to throw successful long casts is to throw downwind. You always want to fish with the tide, bringing the bait with the tide back out. But if the wind's blowing the other direction, then you've got to go to make the long cast. You may have to go against one principle to accomplish another. You've got a 20-foot boat sitting in 18, 20 inches of water. Every time that boat moves, it sends a shock wave out. And that's an unnatural thing to these redfish, especially when it's clear water up on a flat where they're isolated. They got to go 400 or 500 yards to get to 2 feet of water or 3 feet of water. They're leery to start with. So but these small spoons, Michael throws these 1/8 ounce spoons just as far as I can throw a 1/2 ounce spoon, and he just hurls it. You can use a little longer rod. We've really gone to more all medium action 7.5 foot rods for our spoons specifically and our soft baits. But the longest cast you can make, you got to, in your mindset, you got to think 50% of your cast distance is not going to be effective. Just think like that.
And you don't necessarily have to have an arsenal of selection, but you do need to have a couple of specialized rods and reels.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, for the longest time, Michael and I would really have 3 rods set up. We'd have one for spoon, one for soft bait, and one for top water.
Right.
You know, now I'm going to go off to another bait now, and that is a top water. Top water. Everybody loves to fish top water. You know, our favorite are the mirror lures. I love the top pups, and the she pups. Now I'll show you the difference here. In the she pup, when you're in water, you want to throw a top water, and the water's kind of rough, or it's a little murky. What we like to do is throw the she pup. Now, the purpose of a she pup is it's the same shape, essentially, as a top pup. You know, these are really the same, almost the same bait, same colors. But here's the difference. When you listen to this is a she pup, so you want a little choppier water, a little murkier water. Listen to that rattle. This is a top pup. One's more of a trebly sound, one's more of a bass sound. You don't want that trebly, high-pitched sound going out in real clear, calm water, because again, it's more unnatural. But when the water's kind of choppy and discolored a little bit, you want to throw something that they can find easier. And you know, another tip, and another tip is that, you know, for everybody that loves to throw top water, they'll get a redfish pushing up on a bait. And that just can't seem to get it. I mean, I've seen them rise up and literally put the bait up on their head trying to get to it. When you get a redfish pushing up behind a topwater bait, don't stop. No bait, no prey is stopping. At that point, just slowly reel without twitching it. Have the bait, instead of walking through the water, you want the bait to come in a straight line through the water. He can come up right behind it and get it in his mouth. That is probably one of the best tips that you're going to get. I picked it up from a TV show recently, and it made so much sense to me. And every time we started doing that, it really has paid off.
Yeah, and the different techniques you use. You brought up something very important: the variety of techniques. You know,
right?
And that is something important, because, like I say, a prey's not going to just stop there and get eaten. He's going to try to.
It's going to take off.
He's going to try to keep on trying.
Absolutely. You know, and we go through all this stuff in our seminars and our clinics, and but you know, guys, I'll tell you, red fishing right now is on fire. This is the best time of year for redfish. The big bulls are feeding. Find the birds. Throw something that's going to get down 2 or 3 feet deep so the pelicans can't get it.
Y'all did a good job. Well, Mark, good information, buddy.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
That's really good stuff. And don't forget the seminar tomorrow night at what time?
6 o'clock, Legendary Marine on Thomas Drive. Y'all come out.
Okay. And always, now, if you have any questions, call Mark. He'll be glad to talk to you. And,
absolutely.
And I appreciate the sponsorship here on Panhandle Outdoors.
I love you guys.
And good luck on any tournament.
Well, I appreciate it. We got a big one coming up.
All right. Thank y'all for watching Panhandle Outdoors. Do something good for your fellow man, and God bless.
Thanks for joining us for Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester.